What the fuck? Yup. That's me getting chased by a football team of Minecraft players riding pigs. But to understand the situation, we need to rewind a little bit. It all started one day when I had this sudden urge to play on Hypixel, Minecraft's biggest multiplayer server. Specifically, I want to relive some of my nostalgia from 5 or so years ago, and so I went on to one of my favorite games on Hypixel, known as party games. I mean, for 13-year-old me, this was like the equivalent to crack. Now, essentially, party games is just a bunch of mini games mixed together with a point system. And there's about 8 mini games chosen from about a pool of 50 or so of them. And basically, if you come first, you get 3 points. If you come second, you get 2. And if you come third, you get 1 point. And the winner is the one who has the most points at the end of the game. Now, at first, this video was gonna be me just, hopping onto party games and just reliving my nostalgia. But then, I began to think nostalgia isn't enough anymore. So why don't I try to do a perfect 24-point game of party games while bullying children online? And that's exactly what this video is about. So strap in your seatbelts and you better buckle up tight, because if you don't, you're going straight to Peaches and Creamville. Now, the very first minigame I would play would be this pig fishing game. It's a pretty simple minigame. Essentially, you're just trying to fish as many pigs as possible into your hole. And obviously, the person with the most pigs at the end wins the minigame. I mean, this game was made for toddlers, bro. There is absolutely no way I can lose it. I got beaten by a whole 10 pigs. Yeah, so maybe there is levels to pig fishing, but ain't no pig fishing gonna stop me from beating this challenge, so I quickly moved on to try number 2. The first game on my second try, for whatever reason, was also pig related. In this game, you would shoot rocket-propelled pigs at your opponents, and the person with the most kills at the end would be the winner. I did, not so good to say the least, and it was back to the drawing board on my third attempt. I played this game where you avoid cannonballs and try not to get hit by them. I got hit by one right away. Like, what the fuck, bro? I'm playing goddamn Minecraft mini games and I'm out here going out in the first round every single time. It's like I'm the coughing baby versus the hydrogen bomb, bro. What's happening? But hey, you know what they say, bro. A fourth try is a charm. Now, I started out my fourth try with this laboratory digging game. Essentially, you mine blocks beneath you, and you have to shuffle through your shovel, axe, and pickaxe to mine these blocks as fast as possible. And for the first time this video, I could actually say that I won something. Now, moving on, the next game in my challenge would be this snowball game that sooner or later would become a staple of this video. I mean, you could probably figure out what's happening if you have half a chromosome. I was able to use my incredible snowball skills to win my second minigame in a row. I then played a minigame in which you had to mow as much grass as possible using your cow as a lawnmower. Oh, guys, get it? Lawnmower? Lawnmower? I want to kill myself. But it didn't take long before I was a champion of lawnmower as well. Now, after dominating on lawnmower, I was actually feeling good about my situation, I was actually 3 for 3 and I wasn't sucking ass for once. But then I realized a bit of a critical problem, to say the least. Party games holds a total of 8 people once it starts the game, and by the time I got onto pig fishing, there was only 3 people left in the lobby. And I mean, playing pig fishing is one thing, but winning and seeing that third place is a sack of potatoes that won with 0 pigs collected is most definitely a sight to see. Now, at this point, given that my opponents were probably a combined age of 11, I figured, it probably wouldn't count for this challenge if I won, so I just used the rest of this game for practice. Me and my other 2 comrades played a block memorization game in which I won quite easily, and then we moved on to King of the Hill. Basically, you get points for being at the top of the hill, and you have to keep your opponents off said hill. I kid you not, I felt like Wilt Chamberlain out there, bro. Like, I mean, I was actually playing against plumbers and old people in retirement homes. Anyways, it was not at all a hard-fought battle, and I was able to claim first place in that game with no problems whatsoever. The last game we played was called Fire Leapers, and essentially you have to jump over these particles without touching them, and last one standing wins. And with my perfect game on the line, I prepared to jump like I had never jumped before. You need a total of 50 perfect jumps in order to get 3 stars in this game if nobody dies. And so I stretched my hands, cracked my neck, and prepared myself for the challenge that was ahead of me. And everyone else was dead in the first 6 jumps. So technically I did beat this challenge like 3 minutes into this video, but like I said earlier, my opponents were actual vegetables. So let's move on to an actual try. On try number 5, I started off first playing this chicken game where you had to go through the rings and race other people. And might I add, this is probably one of the worst games I've ever played. Not only just in Minecraft, but in my entire life. Not only are the controls in this game janky as hell, and not to mention how unforgiving it is if you miss a single ring, but bro, I swear this is the most god-awful music I've had to listen to in my entire life. Like, genuinely, who designed these sounds, bro? Helen Keller? Anyways, I was able to come first in this god-awful race, and then we moved on to lab digging. I was once again able to win with relative ease, and so it was time to move on and very humanely slaughter some animals. Now, using my insane movement and combat abilities, I was able to win with relative ease once again, which is when I was also able to get one of my first compliments for my efforts in this challenge. And now we were back to the Fire Leapers game. And because I was worried I was gonna mess up on one of the 50 jumps, I came up with a very brilliant plan. I proceeded to block as many people as I could so they couldn't see where they were jumping, and using this incredible tactic, I was able to come in first place once again. I mean, if the hatred towards me in this lobby wasn't present enough, it definitely was now after this performance. We then played a game in which you had to craft stuff as fast as possible. I had an early scare at the start of this game as I needed to craft a piston, and let's be real bro, who in the hell actually knows how to craft a piston by heart? But despite this little setback, I was able to still emerge on top. And onto our third to last game, we got a nice easy parkour race in which I was able to take first place once again without many issues. Now, on the second to last game, I was playing pig jousting. Oh dear god, no.
What the fuck? What did I do? Oh no.
Yeah, honestly, I did have that one coming. But to be fair, how on earth do you get the whole lobby to not hate you if you're trying to win every game and sweat your ass off as much as possible? With all that being said and done, the challenge was unfortunately not over yet, so it was on to try number 6. Starting off try number 6, we played another racing game. This time, you're in a minecart and you have to shoot the wall of your assigned color to increase the speed of your minecart. And I was actually doing quite good at the start. I came in third. Yeah, I guess it's good once in a while to get a humbling to remember this challenge isn't all sunshines and rainbows. The first game I got on try number 7 was known as Anvil Spleef, and it was quite simple. Basically, you stood on this platform and you had to avoid anvils falling in from the sky, and you die either if you fall into the void or if an anvil hits you on the top of your head. I'm having fun. Try number 8, I was back to the RPG game, launching explosive pigs at anyone who even dared to come close to me. And after winning that game fairly easy, I was back to what ended one of my previous runs in the pig jousting game. I decided to hide in the corner like the absolute masculine Minecraft player I am, and because of that I was able to clean up and win with 1 heart left to my name. Next, I quickly had a one and done on the lab digging game. And it was on to, once again, one of my least favorite games on party games. This minigame known as Avalanche. Now, in Avalanche, you have to hide under these tiny ass wooden platforms that change ever so often, and you have to avoid these snowballs that kill you instantly if you get hit by them. And the first 9 rounds of the game are just that, and it's super easy, you can't really mess up. But then round 10 comes. Oh dear god, round 10. On round 10, everyone's allowed to hit each other, and there's only one little ass wood slab that you can go underneath. And to be fair, I was actually able to make it to round 11 until the inevitable happened. The first game we played was this spider maze game in which you had to find the exit as fast as possible without dying to spiders. I actually got lost right away like the professional navigator I am, but luckily I was able to follow someone who knew what he was doing. And for whatever reason, this guy that I was following decided to go the wrong way on his very last turn, and so I was able to steal first place. We then went pig fishing once again, in which I won with relative ease. And then it was time for everyone's favorite snowball game. Yay! Why does the entire lobby want to slime me out once again? Believe it or not, I unfortunately was unable to survive my encounter with the triple threat that I faced, and so it was back to the drawing board. We played this volcano spleef game, but I forgot to jump at the last moment and fell into lava. We played on a big ass trampoline, trying to get as many points as possible by jumping in the air. I ended off with 14 points. First place had 34 points. Chicken ring, chicken wing, chicken macaroni. Apparently I turned into a vegetable again and I died on Fire Leaper's jump number 8. I got fucking comboed by a spider. I painted my yellow load all over the canvas, claiming as much space as possible and was able to win. It was then back to crafting time, in which I made the most horrid wooden pickaxe known to mankind. And once again, the piston was my bane of existence, and I was back to the drawing board. On try 15, we played the RPG game again, in which I won, but then the server crashed. Yeah, like, bro, do I have evil Minecraft installed or something? Like, I came into this video being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a fun little nostalgia video. It's gonna be funny. I'm gonna beat some kids online. It's gonna be a good time. And now I'm 3 hours into recording and every single pixel on my screen wants me dead to rights. I just wanna say real quick, about 96% of you guys watching my content right now are not subscribed. So if you want to see more of my dumbass in the future, consider subscribing as it really helps me out. I beat the jungle parkour with relative ease, barely scraped by on the cannon painting game, and got my revenge on the volcano game. It was now time for the spider maze game, and once again, this game was simply not meant to be. Now I'm back at it on the painting game, which I was able to win super easy this time. But then again, I realized I was once again trapped in a lobby with only 2 other players. But this time, I decided I would count this challenge as a victory if I was able to win against these 2 other players, as both of my opponents in this game looked about 5 times more competent than the little toddlers in my other game. Not to mention that these guys obviously were playing together given their similar names, and I'd be fighting an uphill battle on some certain minigames. And so the challenge had life in it once again. I parkoured my way through the volcano, jumped to victory in fire leapers, fished for pigs I guess, and shot my way to victory in a minecart. And with only 3 games to go before I was able to beat this challenge, you won't believe what minigame I got next. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it all. Now, believe it or not, the guys with matching usernames actually decided to team up against the guy who was in first place. And despite putting up a good effort in the later half, it was all but too late. Now, despite losing with only 3 games to go before beating this challenge, I was actually in a fairly good mood at this point, as I realized how close I was to victory. And for some reason, it was only on my 18th try that I actually got my favorite game on party games. Ho 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 is basically just paper.io, but you can't go over other people's lands. And while all these other peasants were distracted fighting over who gets whose land, I just decided to claim half the map. And after some more anvils and even more canvas painting, it was once again time to face off against fire leapers. Given how my past evil strategy hadn't worked out, I decided to play it safe and not block any of my fellow competitors. And so I was able to win without making any enemies whatsoever. I sure do hope we don't play Avalanche. Despite another valiant effort from yours truly, winning a game of Avalanche was not in the desires of the RNG gods. And so I got out in 3rd place, and once again it was back to the drawing board. Now at this point, if I lost another minigame, something in my room was most definitely breaking. So trying the hardest I possibly could, I slashed my way through pig jousting, maneuvered around a volcano, parkoured my ways about the jungle, and went on a massacre snowballing kids off ledges. And I don't know what kind of bullshit system Hypixel has with choosing minigames, but we're actually getting a brand new minigame on try number 19. In this shooting game, you gotta shoot the mobs off your screen. Well, duh. And if you hit the mobs with a TNT on their head, you get 2 explosive arrows, which by the way are super overpowered. And this also means that if you hit 1 explosive zombie, you essentially have an infinite supply of explosive arrows, given that you don't have the aim of a disabled cucumber. And so that's exactly what I did. And so it was on to the final 3 games. Of course, I had to have played RPG, and I didn't take lightly to any of the scrubs in this lobby, absolutely nuking everyone I saw in sight. Then it was time for Lawnmower, in which I used my brilliant tactics. I was able to net myself first place once again with relative ease. And last but not least, the final game would be where it all started, in pig fishing. If I won this game, I would have finally beat this godforsaken challenge that I've been trying to do for so long now. And if I lost, I would most definitely have over $500 in damages in my dorm. And so with my sanity on the line, I began to fish my pigs. I did it! I did it! it does turn out that if you over obsess on Minecraft minigames for 5+ hours, you can actually cyberbully children online. Like, bro, like I said before, I came into this video, you know, trying to relive some of my nostalgia, maybe have a couple wholesome Minecraft moments, but then not even 1 hour later, I'm crashing out at people riding pigs and hitting me with their swords. Anyways, if you want to catch more of my dumbass content in the future, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, as it really would help out me and my channel a lot. And remember, a ToxicLike video a day keeps all the bitches away. Peace! Also, yeah, I do know that my thumbnail is a little bit clickbaity given the fact that we didn't play Dropper, but I swear on my third ball sack, I remember back in the day on party games, there was a Dropper minigame where it was just like this big ass pool of water, and you jump into this pool, and where you landed, there would be a block there now, and you try to land as many times as possible to see whoever got the most points. And the one with the most points at the end would be the one who wins. You probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but I know there's a small little portion of you autistic folks that know exactly what I'm talking about.